Hello. I just wanted to talk briefly about the kinds of props that you can use for your home practice. Not all, not every teacher uses props. I'm a bit of a fan of them at the moment. They can really help with, particularly if you're staying in a pose for some time and just doing that long, slow stretching. Then using props of various kinds can really help with that. And probably one of the most useful is just a blanket, just a simple ordinary blanket that so you can use something like this just to sit on. That's probably its first use. And that helps to keep the spine up straight and the hips just slightly above the hips. The hips slightly above the knees, which is kind of ideal when you're sitting cross-legged. It can also just be propped in underneath one of the knees if one of your knees doesn't go down as much as the other, or if you've had an injury or there's some stiffness in the hips. You can use just a folded blanket in underneath the knee to help support that. A blanket also can be used when it's folded out like this, and then you just sort of roll it up into a little tube as a sort of a mini bolster. And this can go in perhaps, under one knee if you're doing a forward stretch in this position, just lengthening out like this so that the back of the knee doesn't go down, doesn't hyperextend down into the floor. It can be placed under both knees when you're doing this kind of forward stretch here with the both legs out. And you're able to stay in a position like that for some time, just resting on the blanket. It can also be placed in here at the abdomen if you want to lean on a prop like this, where it will give you just a bit of support. If the hips aren't all that flexible at the moment, you can just rest here on this and allow the hip or the back of the leg to open up gently and slowly. The blanket can also be just folded out, kind of like, what would that be, like a half blanket or a quarter, and fold it into a tube like this. I might unfold it one more time and have a longer tube. So we'll roll it up like this into a tube like this. And when you're in a position such as Baddha Konasana, with the soles of the feet together, the knees out to one side, you can place the blanket on top of the feet and bring it in around behind each ankle, both ankles, and you can fold it back in again or just leave it like that. And it gives the legs a lot of support to be able to stay in this position as a hip opener for some time. So you can stay there as long as you want without this the stress of the discomfort in the groin, which can happen in this kind of position. So I'll fold it into that shorter sort of tube now and show you another use for this. The blanket is one of the most useful props, really. So you fold it into a tube like this and place it down and on the floor, and you place or adjust your position so that the blanket will be at the base of the shoulder blades. So something like that, and then let the head come down, lengthen the back of the neck, and open the arms out to a T. The knees can be bent or legs down straight like this, and it's a really nice shoulder opener. Just letting go into letting the weight of the body go down into the blanket, helping to open up between shoulder blades. And then also you can keep shifting it down so it goes into the mid-spine, the middle area of the back. Just really kind of like a mini massage, really. But you can stay there as long as you like and gradually start to let go. And gravity will do a lot of work for you. Now I'm placing it down in the lumbar area, the natural curve of the body. And again, just lying like this for as long as you like. Helping to develop that sort of natural curve of the spine. I did this for a long time. My spine is quite straight. It doesn't tended to not have that natural curve. And so I would lie in bed with a blanket or a towel under me like this for several months. Not continuously, of course, but like each evening for a while. So then, I mean, of course, the first thing is you don't even need a yoga mat. You can just use a rug at home. Carpeted floor is easy to do yoga on, or even the grass outside if the weather's nice. And then, of course, just pillows or cushions as a bolster, as a bolster. And of course, you can just sit on them again as a sitting prop to sit up on. You can have them in child pose to just bring the head down or the upper body down on top of the pillows or cushions, or one at a time. If the head doesn't touch the floor in child pose, you can just rest it on the pillow or on the cushion. And in restorative yoga or restorative poses, where again you're maybe there for a long time, you can use pillows like this to come up over the top and extend out like this and reach up over towards the other hand. So you're opening up this whole side body here and the hips around here, and being able to use the just ordinary pillows that you would have at home. Some of the other things that can be used are, I guess also with the pillows, you can also use them to lie back on, much like the blanket really. So you can kind of open up the whole front body just by lying on a blanket. And I just remembered another use for this, for the blanket, is to have it pretty much in line with the spine, and you lay the whole spine down on the blanket, in line with the blanket. And again, it helps to open up the front body and the back body at the same time, and between the shoulder blades. If you find that the head is kind of jutting up, so the chin is upwards like this, it's not so good. You want the head to be down so you can In this particular position, you can fold the top of the blanket down underneath the head like that, so it keeps the chin a little bit down or vertical from the floor. Another prop is just a dressing gown belt that can be used, of course, as a standard yoga strap, and you might want to wrap that around the sole of the foot as you're doing your forward folds like this, with both feet like this, just holding. You don't want to pull, but just really holding in a particular position. So if you're pulling, then you're engaging the muscles of the shoulders, and so you're really creating more tension than releasing tension. You want to be able to relax the shoulders and release tension and not restrict the breathing. I use belts in my class often as a leg stretch. So the belt goes around the sole of the foot, you lift the foot up to the ceiling, you can hold it right up near the foot like this, so that the arms or the shoulders can just kind of relax down a bit, and they're kind of touching the floor but not quite, but there's not very much effort. The other way is to come right down and hold the belt right down near the ends, so that the shoulders and the upper arms are just resting on the floor, and you're gradually just taking the foot towards the wall behind you. Again, not really pulling, but just applying a gentle ongoing pressure, so it doesn't come off and on and off and on again. You just keep it at the same pressure the whole time. Both legs can go in, and again you can just hold each side of the belt in each hand, or right up close to the feet. And then the feet can slide out to the ends of the belt, and so you're doing a kind of a big V shape with the legs, and this also helps to lengthen the back of the legs, the hamstring area, and down in the hips as well. And then slide up and take the belt off. The other props that can be used at home are just ordinary standard books. They need to be quite thick books, and of course, the more educational the better. And these can be used for some people have some problem with getting the leg through from downward facing dog. So when we lift the leg up and come through, it sometimes gets stuck here. You just can't, you don't have the length, or you don't have the flexibility to get that foot all the way through. So you can come up on a couple of books and swing that leg through, and then take the knee down. It can even be, if they're hardcover books, you can be up like this. The stability is not great, and this is probably even worse. So just a good hardcover book is probably better than a soft cover, and you would use two of them perhaps for downward facing dog, although perhaps one side might also be okay, just to be able to get that leg through. So whatever leg you're bringing through, you would have the book on that same side. So the book can be used obviously as a yoga block. So in poses like surrendered warrior like this sort of pose, you can slide the hand down and it can go to the inside of the ankle or the outside of the ankle as a prop, when rather than holding on to the leg. Also perhaps in Trikonasana, the triangle pose where the front leg stays straight. Also the book is used as a block, so that it might be in this sort of position inside the ankle or outside the ankle, and rather than holding on to the leg. So it's just another little prop or idea that you can use to bring both arms parallel with each other in line through the shoulders. And I think that's about it. So, also in child pose, again, when the forehead doesn't reach, if it doesn't reach the floor, and that's kind of important for the head and the neck to be able to just rest. Child pose Balasana is a very much a position of allowing the body to completely let go and integrate whatever is going on. And if you're holding the head off the floor like this, then it's not ideal. Your body's in a state of tension here. So you just bring the book in under, and then just bring the arms back near the feet and be able to let go completely. So these are just some ideas that would help to encourage you to continue with your home practice, particularly during our lockdown period currently. And thank you for watching. Namaste.